Hi everybody. So if you're at this video, you should already have the head and the hat completed. So what you see here should already be done. In today's video, we are going to be creating the body for the blue Smurf or for Papa Smurf. If you are making Smurfette, she will have a separate video. Her body's different. Now for the band count, I am very confused. I couldn't figure it out. This is what I have left from creating the hat and the pants. So it's under 600. So it's either, the same thing for this white or the white pants. You're gonna have this left over. For the blue, I'm thinking you need 640 or less. I cannot figure it out. So if somebody can, that'd be great. For the blue, I use the neon blue, and it's the opaque band, so he turns out a little bit smaller than the actual, this one, which is all jelly. And for that one, I used the glow blue. For Papa Smurf's beard, the white, you're gonna use 69 bands. So I'm gonna continue, and I do hope you enjoy. Round one of the arms. I'm going to show you to do one, and then you're going to pause the video and make yourself another. So we're going to start off with 7 single crochets in the magic ring. So you're going to take your first band and wrap it around the bottom peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now with your hook, you want to bring your bands through one at a time. The other end on your hook, top loop over, and bring it to the side. Going back in for your second band to bring through on your hook and the top 2 loops over. And you'll just continue like that. Your next band through on your hook, 2 loops over, and bringing it to the side. And just continue. You want to attach your stitch marker to the band that's around your hook and remove off the loom. You should have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is on your hook. For rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, you're just going to do 7 single crochets, adding 1 band to each chain. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. It doesn't matter which Smurf you're making, all of their arms are blue. So just to show you, even Smurfette. Now, when you get to the last band, you're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So just so you can see with the last band, just bring your last band through all of the loops and tie it closed. After I complete round 2, I am going to show you how to attach 2 sewing bands to the arms. So for right now, we're just going to put this to the side, and I'm going to do round 2. So going in your first chain, we're going to do 7 single crochets. So each pile I have 7 bands. So at the end of each round, you should have 7 stitches. So bring your band through and move on to the next chain, all the way till you get to the stitch marker. I have my bands organized, so I won't be using the stitch marker. So there's 7 stitches again. And when you get to the end, you're just going to remove your stitch marker, and you just want to attach 2 sewing bands. So I am going to put my slip knot to the side, and not going in the stitch right beside the slip knot, I'm going to go to the next one. And I'm going to go straight across. And bring my band through and do a slip knot, to secure it. And one more. So I'm going to go right to the edge here, to the side, so it's even with this one. And do a slip knot. And tie it closed. So now you can pause the video and complete your rounds and come back to me when you're done. We're going to start the legs now, so you want to pick the color that you want to use. I will be using the red. We're going to start off with 6 single crochets in the magic ring. So you're going to take your first band and wrap it around the bottom peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. I am going to show you how to do one, and then you're going to pause the video to make yourself the other. Now pull 6 bands through, one at a time. Reaching in, grab your band and bring it through. Top loop over, bring it to the side. The next, top 2 loops over and bring it to the side. And just continue. Attach your stitch marker to the span that's around your hook and remove off the loom. You should have 6 stitches. Just move your bands around nice and evenly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is on your hook. For round 2, we're going to increase to 12 stitches. So we're going to add 2 bands to each chain around. That's just doing an increase on each chain. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So at the end of round 2, you'll have 12 stitches. So you're going to go in your first chain and bring your 2 bands through one at a time. Making sure going back in that same chain to add your second band. And the next chain, again, 2 bands, one at a time. Continue this until you get to the stitch marker. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 3, we're going to do 3 single crochets followed by an increase. 1, 1, 1, 2. So 1 band in the first 3 chains. 1, 1, 1, and on your 4th chain add 2. You're just repeating this 3 times. And at the end of round 3, you're going to have 15 stitches. So let's go in our first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and bring 1 band through. Repeat, next chain with 1, and the next chain with 1. So I just did 3 single crochets. In your 4th chain, add the 2 bands. Back in, and repeat, 1, 1, 1, 2. And repeat one more time. And the last chain with the 2. So again, you should have 15 stitches, and remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 4, we're going to grab the inside loops all the way around and do 15 single crochets. So at the end of round 4, you're going to have 15 stitches. So you can see I have 15 bands here. So you're just going to the first inside loop, not where it's getting pulled, and bring your first band through. Repeat on the next inside loop only. The next. You're going to repeat this all the way till you get to your stitch marker. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around my hook, or around your hook. For round 5, we're going to do 3 single crochets followed by an invisible decrease. So I'll be adding an extra band. So you're going to add 1 band to the first 3 chains, 1, 1, 1, and these 2 stitches I'm going to be doing my invisible decrease, or just Avi's invisible decrease technique, where you do a slip stitch in each and then slide them. So we're going to repeat that 3 times. At the end of round 5, you're going to have 12 stitches. So let's go in our first chain and do a single crochet. Chain 2, single crochet. Chain 3, single crochet. Now it's time for the invisible decrease, so we're going to do a slip stitch in the next chain and leave it on our hook. Go to the next chain and do a slip stitch and leave it on your hook until you have 3 loops, and then you're going to slide. That's our decrease. Repeat again, 1 band in the first 3 chains, 1, 1, 1, followed by an invisible decrease. Slip stitch, leave it on your hook, next chain, slip stitch, and then slide. And repeat 1 more time. Remove your stitch marker. You should have 12 stitches. For round 6, we are going to do 2 single crochets followed by an invisible decrease. 1, 1, invisible decrease. And repeat 1 more time. So you're going to do that 3 times. At the end of round 6, you're going to have 9 stitches, and then we're going to add a little bit of stuffing. So in the first 2 chains, add 1 band. The next chain, 1 single crochet. Now slip stitches in the next 2 chains, three loops, and then slide. Repeat again, 1, 1, invisible decrease. Slip stitch, slip stitch, and then slide. Repeat 1 more time. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. You should have 9 stitches. Now we're going to add a little bit of stuffing just to fill this area. You don't want to overstuff. You just want to get the form of it. Now for the next 6 rounds, you're going to do 9 single crochets. So for round 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, you're just adding 1 band to each chain. 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around until you get to your stitch marker. I'm going to do round 7 with you. And on your last band, you're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So once you've completed, you're going to go in your last stitch with your last band and bring it through and tie it off. And then you'll just remove your stitch marker. So I'm going to do round 7 with you. Going in your first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and add your first band. Do a single crochet. The next with 1 band. So just continue until you get to the stitch marker. Just so you know, I won't be using the stitch marker because I have my bands organized. And I really don't use the stitch marker when I'm looming on my own. So you can remove the stitch marker if you'd like, add it to the band that's around your hook. You want to pause the video and come back to me when you're done. Before we start round 1 of the body, we are going to add some stuffing to the legs. I've already done 1. And all you're going to do is just take a little bit, trying hard not to have it show through the bands. You can always fix later with your hook. I am going to use a pencil to help me stuff. And then we're going to attach the legs together. So I can just move this around and then making sure that the bottom of the foot is flat. And I have a little bit too much. You don't need a lot at all. Just making sure that they're both even. Now I'm going to attach the legs, and all I'm going to do is, this is the pattern. These are my first 2 stitches, and they are going to be the two center chains that I'm going to stitch together. So your slip knots might be in a different spot than mine. And what I'm going to do is take these 2 center chains are going to be these 2 bands. I'm using 18 bands because I have 18 stitches total in the legs, 9 and 9. So I'm going to do this stitch first. I'm going to take my chain on either side in the center, right beside each other, and I'm going to bring my first band through on my hook and slide. Now going to the chain right above and the other chain on the other leg right above where I grabbed before, I'm going to bring my second band through and do a crochet, single crochet, bringing it through both of those chains on my hook and slide. Now I'm going to go around the leg and stop. So I'm going to go around the leg and stop. So let's just take one chain at a time. So going to the next chain on the leg from the center out, and there's my band. The next, the next, the next, now I just used 9 bands. When you get to the front of the shoes, what I'm going to do is, in the previous tutorials I was grabbing the center stitch. I am going to try to avoid a little gap that I was having, so I'm just going to grab this chain right beside the center stitch, and I'm actually just going to skip that. So I'm going to bring my 10th band through, and it's right before the center of the legs. So my 11th band, I'm going to go to the other leg now and bring my next band through. Now continue around. We have 2, 4, 6, and 7 bands left. So I'm going to do 7 more single crochets, making sure that you're on either side of your slip knots from the legs. I'm at the back of the legs again. And I just used 18 bands and you'll have 18 stitches. Attach your stitch marker to that band that's around your hook. Now for round 2 of the body, we're going to increase on every third stitch. So you're going to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. You're going to repeat this 6 times. At the end of round 2, you're going to have 24 stitches. So where I'm going to start is where your band is getting pulled, this little chain that you see in here. That's where I'm going to put my first band. My second one is going to go over here. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet. So just so you can see again, where it's getting pulled, right beside. So my next stitch is over here. And 1 band. Now in my third stitch, I'm adding the 2 bands, 1 at a time. Back in. And repeat. 1, 1, 2. Back in. And repeat. 1, 1, 2. Continue until you get to the stitch marker. So you should have 24 stitches, and you want to remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For rounds 3, 4, and 5, you're doing 24 single crochets. So each pile I have 24 bands, so at the end of each round you will have 24 stitches. I'm going to do part of round 3 with you, and then you're going to pause the video and come back to me when you're done. So you want to go in your first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and bring your first band through. Next chain with 1 single crochet. Next, just all the way till you get to the stitch marker. So you just want to continue all the way till you get to the stitch marker and come back to me when you're done. Now what we're going to do is secure your band. So take your stitch marker and secure it on another stitch. And we're going to add the tail. We're going to use a single red band to close it off. So all I'm going to do is just pull the 4 bands through to the other side, finding your placement and making sure that you're at the back. So I'm just going to pull the bands through, going to the other side, and I'm going to check my placement, starting at the center back and bringing my first band through, keeping it on your hook. Now I'm going to go through putting the tail flat, and find another stitch. So right underneath where your band is and slide. So find your other band, and I grabbed the wrong band. So we want to make sure we grab the right band, so putting it flat, that band belongs on the other side, and slide. Keeping it on your hook, put the tail flat, so I'm going to the bottom, bringing my next band through, and slide. And I have one more sewing band to bring through, so I'm just going to go on the other side. And just check the placement. And slide. Now these bands are quite loose, so I'm going to just go through each chain, 1 chain, 2 chains, and 3 chains, and taking a red band, I'm just going to do a slip knot to secure it. So going through all of the chains, grab the end and tie it off. And push it flat. For round 6, we're going to change color to the blue now. And I'm going to remove the stitch marker and put my band back on my hook. And I'm going to do 24 single crochets and just grabbing the inside loops all the way around until you get to the stitch marker. So I have 24 bands here, 6, 12, 18, and 24. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 24 stitches. I'm going to change the color, so I am going to grab my inside loop first and bring my first band through both of the chains that are on my hook. Grab the end and slide. The next inside loop, bring my band through and just do your single crochet. And continue around till you get to the stitch marker. So you should have 24 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 7, we're going to do 19 single crochets. So I laid it out with 10 bands. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, plus 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9. So 19 single crochets in the first 19 chains. After, you're going to do 2 invisible decreases, so I'll be adding an extra band. And your last chain where your stitch marker is, you're just adding the 1. So I'm going to go ahead and do 19 single crochets. Going in the first chain, not where it's getting pulled and not your little slip knot. Bring your band through and do a single crochet. And just continue around for 19 stitches. So I just did 10. I want to do 9 more. Now, what I have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches left. Let's do our invisible decrease. So a slip stitch in the next 2 chains. Three loops and slide. So you should have 3 chains left. Let's do a slip stitch in the next 2. Three loops and slide. And your last chain where your stitch marker is, 1 band, 1 single crochet. So you should have 22 stitches and remove your stitch marker. For round 8, we're just adding 1 band to each chain around. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. I'm going to do 22 single crochets, so I have 22 bands. 10, 20, and 2. So at the end of this round, you should have 22 stitches. Don't start where it's getting pulled. Go to your first chain and bring your first band through. And then just continue to the next. And the next, all the way till you get to the stitch marker. Again, you should have 22 stitches and remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. For round 9, we're going to do 18 single crochets. So I have 10 and 8. 18, and then we are going to do 2 invisible decreases. So adding an extra band. So we're going to add 1 band to the first 18 chains. So going in your first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and bring your first band through. So we're just decreasing. On our last 4, we're going to stitch together. So I have 4 chains left, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do a slip stitch in the next 2 chains. And the next chain. 3 loops and slide. And let's repeat that one more time. Three loops and slide, and you should have 20 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. For rounds 10 and 11, we're going to do 20 single crochets, adding 1 band, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. I'm going to do part of round 10 with you, and then you're going to pause the video and come back to me when you've completed both of the rounds. So going not where it's getting pulled, in your first chain, and add 1 band. Each pile I have 20 bands. At the end of each round you'll have 20 stitches. Next chain with 1. Next with 1. All the way until you get to the stitch marker. So you can pause the video, continue, and come back to me when you're done. For round 12, we're going to decrease to 15 stitches. So I'm going to do 2 single crochets followed by an invisible decrease. 1, 1, invisible decrease. I'm going to repeat this 5 times. At the end of round 12, you're going to have 15 stitches. So I'm going to go in my first 2 chains with 1 band. The next. The next 2 chains, slip stitch, and leave it on your hook. And slide. And repeat 1, 1, invisible decrease. You're just repeating this pattern until you get to the stitch marker. And this doesn't want to stay on my hook. And repeat. Three loops and slide. You should have 15 stitches, and remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 13, this is our last round for the body. You're going to do 15 single crochets. So I have 15 bands, 5, 10, and 15. Your last band, you're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So you're just doing 15 single crochets, and when we're done, we're going to add some stuffing. So just going in your first chain with 1 band. The next. All the way around until you get to the stitch marker. last chain, last band, and slip knot. Remove your stitch marker and grab a little bit of stuffing, and you're just filling in the rest of the body. You want to make sure that you're getting in the bits of the legs, so I'm just going to go in and pull some down. Not too much, and I'm just going to hide this band. That might be a little bit too much. I have some area right at the top where it needs some. Now we're going to create Papa Smurf's beard. And this is what it's going to look like. This is the layout for my first round. I'm going to do 5 slip stitches along the face here on each of the chains. And I'm just doing the slip stitches, and then I'll repeat on the other side. So let's do this part first. You're going to use 5 bands, and we want to go down 5 chains on the face. I do want to start underneath the hat. So fix your hat placement, and I'm going to stop halfway in between the ear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find 5 chains. And the reason why I'm going to do slip stitches is if you don't like the placement, it's easier to move. So I'm going to start under the hat. This is going to be my first chain that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch. So that's 1. I'm going to go to the next chain right below on the face and do a slip stitch. Now right below, but not quite at the ear, so it's kind of like that. So this is 3. Oh, I can't do it. 3. And now I'm going to go kind of towards the ear, because if I go too much towards the face, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to go towards the ear. So that's 4. So you can kind of see the placements of where I have it. And now my 5th. So we want to grab the next stitch, not right beside the ear, to the next stitch. So when I do my second round, it is going to be kind of covering the ear, but if I go too close to the ear, then the hair is going to be like over here. So we want to copy the exact same thing on the other side. So this way, if it's not in a good placement, it's very, very easy to just kind of move one over. Now we're going to repeat, so I'm going to follow along and grab under my hat so I'm kind of even with this one. And I'm going to do the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slip stitch. And following along, I'm going to go right here. And again, if I don't like the placement, I can just move my 1 stitch. So 2. I should probably use that stitch, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So I'm going to go to my next band. I think I am going to move that second band over 1. So that's 3. And not beside the ear there. This is 4. And again, we can just move the bands. And 5. So 5 is about here. Now, if you have more stuffing than me or less stuffing than me, we're not quite going to be the exact same thing. So I'm just going to move that one stitch over. And try to see if they kind of look the same. When we do Lumigurumi, our stitches go on an angle, so it's kind of hard to actually do that. So now I'm going to use 7 bands, and they're going to go along the bottom. So I have 10, 5 and 5, and we want to go along the bottom. So I'm underneath the nose. So we're going to follow our chains around. So let's see, we're going to go here. I can't just jump to the next stitch. I'm pretty sure you're using 7 bands. 1. We want to remember that we're going to single crochet these after by grabbing the chains. So we want to make sure. So I'm going to jump to the other side. You can just go along. This was just easier for me to get these 2 stitches even. 2, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bands. Let me see if I can find 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is what I'm going to be grabbing. This is the same band, so I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to grab this little hidden chain. And again, you can move them easily. And one more. So I'm going to check just to make sure this one kind of looks the same. Now, first, before I start to grab these stitches, these bands, give me a second. What we're going to do is from this side, we're going to go from this side. We're going to grab the stitches and we're going to just slide them. I don't know why if you start on this side, it gives it a completely different look. So you want to start on this side and just grab your stitches and slide them through one by one. Trying hard not to twist your bands. Just grab them and go to the other end. Now we're going to do 17 stitches. Each stitch, so I have 5, 10, 15, 16, and 17. In each pile, I have 3 bands. So 3 bands are going to go in the one chain. So to start off, what I'm going to do is just for the first one, I'm going to grab a chain 1 on the head. So just try to grab 1 band. And you're going to grab just the stitch that's out. So the outside stitch, not both, just the outside to each one around. So I'm grabbing just that 1 stitch and 1 stitch on the face. I'm going to bring 1 band through, just that 1 stitch of the white and the 1 stitch of the face, and put it on my hook. So I have 3 loops. Now you want to grab that stitch again. We don't need to grab the face again. So just grab that 1 stitch again. So go underneath and bring 1 more band through that 1 stitch of the white and on your hook. So I just brought 2 bands through that 1 stitch. So I have 5 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And with your last band, you're going to bring it through all of the 5 loops that are on your hook and slide. Now to the next chain, just that 1 loop towards the back, bring your band through. We don't need to catch the face again, and leave it on your hook. Go back underneath and grab that same loop again and bring your second band through just that 1 loop and on your hook. So you have 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring your band through all 5 loops. On your hook and slide. And repeat. The next chain, just the outside loop, the one facing the back, bring a band through that 1 loop and on your hook. 3 loops. Go back underneath and bring your second band through just that 1 loop and on your hook. 5 loops. Bring your band through all 5. On your hook and slide. And again, outside loop, the one facing the back, bring your band through that 1 loop and on your hook. Underneath, through that 1 loop, bring a band through, 5 loops, and bring your third band through all 5 loops. So there's quite a bit of twisting of your hook and slide. And repeat the next band, underneath, second band, 5 loops, third band through all 5. The next, so you're just repeating, and we are going to end up using this chain here to make it even with this side. If I stop down here, the beard will be completely crooked. So the next, leave it on your hook, underneath again, second band, 5 loops, third band, slide through all 5. And slide. The next. If you're familiar with the witch doll that I did created by Jess Davies, this is the same stitch that I used on the skirt. And the same thing, you're just grabbing, so this is the slip knot, we're going to use it. I'm just grabbing the first little stitch and the same thing. And slide. Now with an extra white band, what you want to do is just catch one stitch on the face, try to just get one stitch, and do a slip knot to tie it closed. And you can hide that slip knot going through the hair, the head and the hat. And then just fix up. Now to attach the head to the body, we're going to use 15 bands, and we're going to start at the back of the body. So fold the body in half. May want to add a little bit more stuffing. As soon as I did that, I have a bit of a gap, or try to move yours. Maybe I'll move my stuffing around. Actually, I could add a little bit more. So we're going to fold the body in half and find the band that's going sideways. So putting my hook through the chain right at the center back, and the same thing with the head. Center back. Making sure that the eyes are in a good spot, like it's half. And we're going to bring our first band through both of those chains, through the head and through the body, and on our hook, and slide. Next, you're going to grab the body, the next chain on the head, and bring your next band through the head and through the body and on your hook, and slide, and just single crochet around. Body, next chain, head, the next chain, and the band through both of those chains and on your hook, and slide. And continue around your last band. You're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. The next. I'm just going to make sure that the head is going on straight. Body, head, band through both chains. And I'm at the last band, so I'm going to do a slip knot, bringing it through all of the loops that are on my hook. and grab the end and tie it off. Now, if you find that the head is too big for the body, you want to just remove some stuffing or move it around. So you can just take your hook and then just remove some of the stuffing or just kind of move everything around. Now to attach the arms, you're going to find your placement at the side. And you're going to bring each of your sewing bands through 3 chains on the body. Now here's the bands that you sewed around the neck. I'm just going to go right below. So I'm going to use this one, and this one. So I'm going to go through the chain, bring my sewing band through, go to the next chain on the body, and my next sewing band through, and slide through the first one. Go to the next, grab my sewing band. I just want to grab one chain, bring my sewing band through, and slide through the middle one. Turn it around. For this one, I'm going to grab a chain on the body, or you can just grab the chain on where you actually did your slip knot. If you are using the glow bands, I would recommend grabbing the body and the arm, because I found that the arms just kind of stuck out. But these are the opaque, so I am just going to grab the chain, or sorry, this sewing band that I had on the arm, bring my band through, and do a slip knot. And for the other side, just repeat. We want it even with this side, we don't want it over there. And the neck band, and I'm using these chains right below. So if I place it here, I think I'm going to use this chain on the body. Next sewing band and slide, and the next and slide. Now I just want to check first that the placement is okay. And grabbing just the sewing band on the arm, glow bands to grab the body, and that stitch, that sewing band on the arm. Oop. Now you can hide these little sewing bands, these little slip knots, by going through the arms. You can do that to the back. And your Smurf's done. So I do hope you enjoy Looming with Cheryl. Bye for now.